So what you will need for this project is a foam board, the mini wreath forms at Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 2. You also need contact paper, flowers, paint, a paintbrush, and the mini jigsaw pieces. So what you're going to want to do first is obviously start painting the little jigsaw pieces. I decided to go with a white. They do have that paint available at Dollar Tree, but you can choose to paint it whatever color you would like. You can also choose to skip this step if you'd like to just freehand the word home onto your board. The foam board at Dollar Tree is 20 inches wide, so I'm just making a measurement because I'm going to cut it directly in half. So I'm just using my ruler to do that, and then I'm also doing it lengthwise. That way I can take my exacto knife and cut it that way. Once your foam board is directly cut in half, you're going to want to glue these 2 pieces together. This is just going to make sure that we have a thicker base. You can just use one if you like, but it does make it really thin and it's best to have it thick. In fact, you can actually buy 2 boards if you want to make it really thick, and then that way you can layer it 4 different times. But I'm just going to go ahead and use my glue gun to glue the 2 sides together to make it a double wide. This is the contact paper that I chose, and you're going to want to make sure that you go with the grain. So the grain should be long ways down, just like the board. You don't want to do it the other way. And then working in sections, I'm going to begin just peeling off the back of that contact paper. You're going to want to work in small sections, that way it's very smooth, and you're going to want to make sure that you have a credit card on hand so that you can really just smooth it over as you go. So once you're finished smoothing it out, you're just going to want to cut off the excess and then turn it over. Now, I didn't cover the entire back, obviously. You can if you want. Nobody's going to see it. It's just an option for you. Otherwise, you're just going to fold over the excess pieces and then fold the corners down and glue down the end of the corners to make sure that they stay down. The next step that I did was I actually placed the wreath onto the board first. That's going to be the focal point, so I just wanted to make sure that that was centered. And I'm just gluing down with my glue gun the outer edge of that. So it's up to you if you want to do it this way. You can start by placing the blocks if you'd like, but I just thought that this was easier to do it like this. So next you're going to want to place your blocks. So I'm obviously going to need an H, an M, and an E to complete the home sign. And I did 3x3s, so every single letter was 3 blocks long, so if that gives you an idea. And then I just made sure that I measured an inch from the top and an inch from the bottom so that it was even. Now you're gonna wanna begin placing your flowers. So this is totally optional. If you want to be able to switch out your flowers according to the season because you wanna keep this on your mantle, I think that's a great option and money saver. And in that case, you're not gonna wanna do what I'm doing here, which I'm gluing the flowers in. If you wanna keep it so that you can take the flowers out, obviously you're just going to place the picks inside of that wreath form and then just secure them with some string. But because I didn't want to do that, I am taking the flower off of the pick and hot gluing it down. If you want to do it the way that I'm doing it, I recommend that you make sure you buy a very full flower. These are chrysanthemums that I got from Dollar Tree, and obviously as you can see they're very full, so they cover the entire wreath form. Whereas if you were to buy a very sparse flower, it's not going to do that for you. So just make sure you pay attention to whether you want to glue it or whether you want to keep it seasonal. That's going to depend on what kind of flower you want to get.